Hello everybody and welcome to Embraer TV Live. We're here at the Singapore Airshow 2018 bringing you all of the best action from Embraer over the next 3 days. I'm your host Arthur Williams and I'll be guiding you through all of our programs. Now I do apologise in advance. You have to appreciate that we are at a live air show, so we will occasionally get the odd fighter jet ripping a hole through the sky or live music that's keeping us all very well entertained here. Now then, I want to mention from the off also that we are very much your show, so you can get in touch with us via Facebook, via YouTube, Twitter, using the hashtag Embraer TV. So do give us your comments and things because we might read them out on the show and we just love you guys getting in touch. Now then, we're going to be speaking to senior management, we're going to be talking to pilots, we're going to be talking to customers. We have loads and loads of action to look forward to. And we've got our reporter Fernando Tiberini, who is out and about here at the show, who will be looking at the static displays, getting up close and personal to the aircraft, including this beautiful machine. It's the E2 E190 jet, and it's the first time that it's been seen here in Singapore, and it will be hunting down the profits and cutting back on the costs for operators here in Asia. But without any more further ado, let me introduce you to Fernando.
Señoras y señores, bem-vindos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Selamat datang, Huan Ying, Varaverpu, to day one at the Singapore Airshow. I'm Fernando Tiberini, and I'm here at the Changi Exhibition Center. It's great to be at the Singapore Airshow, and we'll be broadcasting live from here for the next 3 days. There's lots to enjoy on Embraer Live TV. I'll be doing some exclusive interviews and features. We'll be taking a closer look at the new Embraer E2 Profit Hunter, which is about to enter commercial service. I'll be discovering the award-winning E2 cabin and experiencing what it feels like to fly this amazing aircraft through virtual reality. But don't just take my word for it, I'll also be speaking to pilots about it. So tune in later for this and much more. And now, back to the studio to Arthur.
Thanks, Fernando. Now I'm joined in the studio by Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the Pacific and Asia regions, Cesar Pereira. Cesar, what are your expectations for the show here in Singapore?
We are very excited because it's the first appearance of the Jet C2 in Asia. And we are getting a lot of attention, and the people are looking forward to meet the E2.
Well, you are getting a lot of attention, actually, because we came to the show this morning, and as we were coming in through the entrance, I picked up the paper that's published here for the Singapore Airshow, and you don't get much better publicity than that, do you? Look, there's yourself with the beautiful E2 striking tiger livery on the front. Are you proud of that?
It's nice, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah, we have been following the tiger since it left Brazil, and I was looking forward to meet her.
Yeah. Well, what are your expectations for the jet in this region specifically? Because this is a new market for Embraer.
Absolutely. We are very excited about the performance capabilities of the Jet C2 and the economics of this aircraft. I believe that the E-Jet C2 can unlock a lot of opportunities for airlines in the region. We have some capacity, some airport constraints. Okay, we have airport congestion like Manila, Jakarta, Singapore, and airports in India like Delhi, Mumbai. They are congested, lack of slots. And the Jet C2, with the right economics and the right size of aircraft, they can bypass the congested hub, connect my point to points. So allowing airlines to unlock this opportunity and to grow profitably.
And of course, less transfers means better profitability for airlines.
Exactly,
now,
for the passengers as well.
Yeah.
Right?
And the region's seen huge growth recently, and there's projected growth well into the future. I think that by 2036, the Asia and Pacific regions specifically are due to grow by about 3.5 billion passengers, and we're seeing an increase in middle-class flyers. More people are able to afford to fly, and we're also seeing an increase in low-budget airlines, aren't we?
Yeah, that's correct. So Asia is experiencing a tremendous growth currently, and we expect this growth to continue over time, which of course is not only the big metro cities, but the other cities around, they will grow as well. So we believe that with the right capacity aircraft, you can fly to those destinations, bring more passengers to the system. So everybody wants to fly. And now this airplane can make flying more affordable with the right economics. This airplane can make the flight affordable to everyone and allow airlines to serve more destinations.
Yeah, it's great. So what areas in Asia and the Pacific specifically, I mean, you mentioned Jakarta earlier, but where do you see developing? Sort of China, for example?
Yeah, of course, China is growing very fast. China is responsible for 50% of Asia, but we also see amazing opportunities in India and in Southeast Asia. These regions are growing very fast. And as I mentioned before, the airports are congested, the big airports are congested. And instead of the airlines, in order to pursue growth, the airlines, they are upgauging the aircraft, but they are paying more for the asset. The asset is more expensive for a marginal growth. With a new fleet type, with the right size, they can unlock other opportunities. They can fly to more destinations. They can expand the network, fly more point to point. And of course, with the right economics allowed by E-Jet C2, they can grow profitably.
And the E2, specifically the E190, it's marketed as a very comfortable aeroplane. You say that less transfers are required. People can go from destination, from point to point, without having to stop somewhere down the line. Comfort is a big thing for this aeroplane. So although it's a narrow-bodied airliner, it's got the feel of a wide-bodied jet.
Exactly, and then there's a very important point. We have no middle seat. Okay, we are middle seat refusers, and that is an important and interesting statistic.
Why is that for you?
Nobody wants to be, feel cramped, feel squeezed in the middle seat, right? So we decide that's the Embraer trademark. We don't have middle seat. That is an interesting statistic that shows that people, they prefer to go to the dentist than to fly in a middle seat.
Nobody likes the middle seat. We've all been on those flights, haven't we, where we haven't got the seat that we wanted, and we've got somebody that we don't know next to us on the left, somebody that we don't know next to us on the right.
On the jets, you always get an aisle or a window seat. Exactly. No middle seat at all.
So the jet's yet to be sold in Asia and the Pacific. What are your hopes for the aeroplane in the future going forward from here?
Of course. Japan is also a good market for us. We have a big fleet flying in Japan. I have 40 jets flying there. Very soon we grow to 46 jets. Our biggest customer is in Japan, Japan Airlines. And the airplane is showing its capability in that country, because it's a country where right size is needed. It's a mature market, very healthy yields, and the airplane is doing a great job there. Of course, then we move to Oceania, Australia, for example. There are 100 airplanes in 100 seat size flying in Australia, and all old airplanes like Fokker 100s, Boeing 717s, and BAE 146. All these airplanes need to be replaced very soon, because the airlines, they look for more fuel efficient airplanes, and they too can deliver that now.
So Embraer really are leading the pack in terms of updating fleet, bringing new jets to carriers for cutting edge going into the future.
Absolutely. This is one important thing about Embraer. We always keep improving our product family. So we did this with the U1, then we brought the E2 with an outstanding efficiency. And of course, they too will bring the right economics for our airlines.
Brilliant. All right, Cesar, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Now, if you're interested in knowing what sort of testing these aeroplanes get up to before they're certified to fly here in the Pacific region and Asia specifically, check this video out. I think you'll find it quite interesting. Wow, tested to absolute destruction there as well, you can see, but a successful test nonetheless. Now then, that demonstrates also as well that the aeroplane was fine, but it's all about customer satisfaction and customer comfort on board the Embraer aeroplanes. And as you can see, we've got the Tiger livery on the E2 in front. And the Tiger represents the profit hunter. It's clawing its way through the costs, making it more efficient as an aeroplane and helping operators reduce and make massive profit margins, or make large profit margins. But we're also using the Tiger's feline cousin as well, the cat, for the passengers to represent the comfort that they experience when flying on board one of Embraer's jets, as you'll soon see. I'm joined now by President and CEO of Commercial Aviation within Embraer, Jonh Slattery. John, thanks very much for joining me. How are you?
Great to be here again.
Good, man. Yeah, I know. It seems like only 5 minutes ago we were in Paris.
Yeah.
Where have you come from?
Well, I just came in from the US. I took a 17-hour flight from Los Angeles. I'd spent the weekend with our customers in the US. We had a symposium where we brought them together, and it was great. You know, we've over 80% market share in the United States of all aircraft that have been sold in our space since January 2013. But now my focus is in Asia Pacific. I'm delighted to be here. And we'll be here for the next few days focusing on the show.
Yeah, and what are your expectations for the show here in Singapore?
Well, you know, this is an important show for us. In fact, we're bringing the same size delegation here to Singapore as what we brought to the shows in Europe earlier or mid last year. But why it's particularly important, this is the first visit by the E2 here in Asia. So it touched ground here in Singapore a couple of days ago, the 190 E2, an aircraft that we hope to get certified here in the next few weeks. That's very special for us to now present our new generation aircraft to the airlines and the investor community here in Southeast Asia.
John, Asia's a market that's growing massively at the moment, and you've just mentioned that you're bringing the same size delegation here to Asia, so you understand the importance of what Asia and the Pacific holds for the future.
Well, let's just talk about the numbers. We estimate in the up to 150 seat segment, over the course of the next 20 years, about 10,500 units will be sold. 29% of those units we estimate will be sold in Southeast Asia and China combined. Now that's more than what we expect will be sold in either continental Europe or North America. So this is a major franchise footprint target area for Embraer as we go forward. And that's why we have a major presence from Embraer in Singapore and also in Beijing to address our market customers here.
Now, let's talk about the E2 jet specifically, because we've not seen it in Asia before. What is it about this jet that's going to be so good for Asia?
It's all about economics. Airlines today are looking for the best return on invested capital. So they don't want to abuse bigger assets by traveling around with passengers that are not paying the optimum fares. You've got to right-size the asset to the passenger flows, which will give the optimum yields for the airlines. So what we've done here, this profit hunter is a slayer of costs. It's reducing, for example, on the 190E2, the aircraft that's here, we're reducing the fuel burn by over 17% relative to the E1. The fuel burn reduction on the 195E2 will be at least 24% reduction. So reducing the costs, a bigger size aircraft in the case of the 195E2, it's up to 146 seats on board. So we believe reduce the costs, get the profits up. It's a winning combination for the airlines.
Yeah, those numbers sound good no matter who you are.
Yeah.
And you said they're slashing the profits, slashing the efficiency and making it better for everybody, hence the livery on the front of the E2 behind us here.
Well, you know, we're delighted to bring the Tiger, not only because the Tiger has unique significance in Asia, but in Asian folklore, the Tiger speaks to progress. And as we think about our values in Embraer, you know, it's to challenge the norms and the status quo, to create a new solution, and then to outperform with our services and support on an ongoing basis. Those are the key characteristics for an airframe OEM to really deliver a sustainable, profitable solution for our airline customers.
Now, the aircraft itself is here in Singapore. How important is it to have the actual aircraft here for people to see, look around, take photographs of, adore? I mean, it was on the front page of Day One's newspaper. You don't get much better publicity of that. But what does it mean to you to have that aircraft here? Yeah,
it's huge. There's no substitute for seeing the actual aircraft, seeing the wings. These are the highest aspect ratio wings that have been developed, particularly on the 195 E2. It's an even longer wing. Across the pair, it's 1.5 meters longer than the 190 E2. So for our airline customers, there's no substitute for coming to see the actual aircraft itself. So we're really pleased to bring it here. And of course, we've also brought a very sophisticated mock-up here as well of the interior with the unique two staggered first class and the variations of premium economy and economy. So customers can see how versatile the aircraft is and why it really will be a profit hunter in this market.
You talked about the wing, and it's a longer wing, so therefore it's going to generate better lift, become more efficient. If you have a look at the aircraft, when you see it out there, the aerodynamics of it, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to see that it's going to cut through the air a lot more efficiently than anything else that's been in its place before. Now, it's just about to come into certification here in Asia. I mean, how close are you to getting it certified?
Well, we're very close. In fact, right after this interview, I have the pleasure and honour to have a meeting with Mr. Botelho, the president of ANAC, who's come out to support Embraer here at the show. We're close. So we've finished the flight test program 100%. We are now have submitted the final reports to ANAC for their review and consideration. So, you know, we're somewhere between days and weeks away. But we're very close. In fact, of course, we're ahead of schedule. And there's three key pillars of the program. You want to be ahead of schedule, you want to be under budget, and you want the aircraft to be ahead of technical specification that you originally marketed. And on each of those three pillars of the program, Embraer is coming in ahead. So that's a real testament to the prowess of the Embraer engineering team and the program management team. So now our job is to get into the market and sell this great airplane.
Well, it's no mean feat to do that. That's a hell of an undertaking, and you've pulled it off successfully. And I'm sure that many people within the Asia and Pacific regions are going to be banging a path to your door to be able to buy the jets, but they're not going to be the first customers of the E2, are they?
No, in fact, the E2 will enter into revenue generating service on April 24th. With Widerøe in Norway. So very pleased. In fact, I'm planning to be over, and I'm paying for my ticket on that first revenue generating flight.
I think so too.
I'm not going to give them the aircraft for free, so I don't expect to get my ticket for free.
Exactly. Exciting times.
Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting to launch with Widerøe, who's a long-time operator of one of our competitors' aircraft, and now they're positioning and over to being an E-jet operator. So very exciting. And then in quick succession after that, you know, we'll have China coming in with a subsidiary airline within the Hainan group. We've got Air Astana coming in, who's a current E1 operator as well. So we not only have existing E1 operators maturing into the E2, and of course we've 70 E1 operators in 50 countries around the world, but we also have new operators coming that are not current E-jet operators. So very exciting. We have a plan in Embraer to get to 100 operators in a relatively short time frame, just for the E-jets, because we're already at 100 jet operators in commercial aviation between the ERJ and the E-jet. So a lot of momentum. I think 2018 will be really characterized as the year that the E2 program will bring us to a new trajectory within Embraer. And the team and I are very excited about that.
Amazing stuff. John, you're an incredibly busy man, so I'll let you get on to go to your meeting, but thank you very much for joining us today.
See you again.
Cheers. Okay, well, let's go out to the static displays here at Singapore and join Fernando, who's going to give us a closer look at the beautiful Tiger livery for the E2 jet.
I'm standing in front of the E2 Profit Hunter. Now, just look at this magnificent face of a tiger on the nose of the aircraft. It's a real profit hunter, perfectly adapted to today's operating environment, with a strong focus on performance, as it can travel long distances with amazing efficiency. It must have taken a pretty talented individual to do this amazing artwork. Now, it was all done freehand by the artist Quintana. If you just look at the lifelike quality of the fur or the 3D effect of the whiskers, and of course, what an amazing, unique canvas to work on for any artist. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the first time the Profit Hunter Tiger has been seen in Asia. I give back to the studio to Arthur. Let's see what's happening there.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Fernando. What a beautiful design it is. It's very bold and it's turning heads, like I said earlier, everywhere here in Singapore. Now, and at the beginning of the show, I did ask you to get in touch via social media, and you have been. We've received a couple of tweets. The first one we've got here is from Oliver Story talking about the E2 jet. He said, "It's one of the very best things flying at the moment and just wish that this jet was industry standard." We've also been receiving tweets and comments from around the globe as well. Pereira said, "That's simply sensational in Portuguese. It's a beautiful aeroplane." So that's a reminder to you. Please do get in touch with us, your comments, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Don't forget to include the hashtag Embraer TV, and we'll try and include them in the show. Now, we've run out of time for the time being, but we're going to take a few hours break, and we will see you right back here live from Singapore later on this afternoon from Embraer TV. But from me and Arthur, the crew, we'll see you soon.